How you doing? This is Brother T. If you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts and other merch right there in the description. Just hit the link.
You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through.
How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. So we like to call this channel T's Life Tree. I messed that up. And on this channel, we like to drop you little pine cones of wisdom. If you don't know what that is, stick around, stay on the channel, and you will get it. So before we get into the episode, I need you to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, we can continue to give you these little pine cones of wisdom. Now, today is the next up in our episodes about blank, fill in the blank, ruin the relationship. Today, we're going to talk about how your friends ruin the relationship. All right, so this is a series, if you haven't seen any episodes on it, where I just go through and I talk about different outside influences that actually end up influencing us in our relationship, especially when they help our relationships to fail. All right, so relationships are complicated. We got things coming from everywhere. You know, we got the media. They have a big impression on how our relationship goes, and it depends on which form of media you take in on a daily basis. Remember, we talked about it before on some other episodes, your subconscious and how it works. When you take in music, especially, goes into your subconscious, it's there. And it's the same thing with images, right? It's there. It's there. And especially if it matches up with your paradigm. If you remember, paradigm is the way you think. A lot of times brought on by events in our childhood. Our childhood oftentimes creates a paradigm. And until we get to a point where we can change our thought, speech, and action, that paradigm will stay that paradigm. So we think we're maturing and becoming grown, and we're still dealing with those same things from being a child. That's how that works. So media has a big impression on how we see each other, is my point. Now, what else has an influence? Our parents, of course, right? And there's all types of influences, but one of the big influences, especially with a lot of my ladies, are your friends. Sometimes your friends can absolutely ruin your relationship, and you will let them. Actually, you would encourage them without knowing you're encouraging them to ruin your relationship. So let's go into it. Before we go to do the women, let's do the men first. All right, let's get that out the way. So how can your male friend, if you're a guy, ruin the relationship? Especially if we really trust our friends, if we confide in our friends know, a lot of things about us. Sometimes we can let them in to our relationships, right? And I know some of you out there like, I don't do that. Well, that means you're doing what you're supposed to do. But there are times and there are relationships where friends end up with a hand in what happens. And trust me, sometimes it can be a total and utter disaster when you let your friends have an influence on your romantic relationship. As a guy, what are things that a guy friend can do to help ruin your relationship? How about every time you go out, or how about he comes to you constantly and tries to get you to go out as a single guy? Some guys that do this. Now, ladies, I don't want you to take this episode, show it to your man and say, hey, I knew you always doing that. That's not what I'm saying. Some guys are legit just hanging with their friends, all right? Every guy is not out here trying to find a woman to sleep with every night, okay? All right, so get that out your head, okay? That's not what we're doing here. But sometimes you can have that one friend who's very slick, right? So he'll encourage you to go to a spot where there's nothing but single people or something like that, you know what I mean? Or a spot that there's nothing but women, right? So, things can happen if you put yourself in bad positions. So another thing a guy friend can do is just not lie for you too much, right? So sometimes friends are cover for friends, right? We know this. Well, some of us know this. But if you do that too much to a point where you're not telling your friend, like, hey, maybe you should be honest, man. Maybe you should stop doing that. Hey, I'm gonna stop lying for you. I can't constantly do this, bro. You gotta just be honest with your mate. Just tell her what's going on, man. That's a real friend, right? That's a real friend. But if he's going the other way with it, he's not being a real friend. He's actually helping to ruin your relationship. Juxtapose, and let's talk about juxtapose and talk about the women's side, right? So women, dealing with women friends, goes a little deeper. No, I'm not picking on you. I'm just telling the truth. And a lot of you out there know, when you start thinking about it, you've either been through this or you've put somebody through this. so bad things or things that a lady friend can do to help ruin her lady friend's relationship. Now, convincing her to leave him every 2 seconds. Let's say if she came to her friend and said, hey, I noticed, we'll just call him Tyrone. I noticed Tyrone, he goes to the gym more often. He wasn't going to the gym. He was working out at home. Now he's going to the gym. He says he has these different workout routines and he likes to play basketball with the fellas, so he can't do that at home. And I'm just wondering, because I'm scared. I don't know if he's cheating on me or whatever. Instead of that friend saying, hey girl, maybe you should talk to your husband, maybe you should open that dialogue and tell him your concerns, so you know what I'm saying, you can really have an honest conversation, because you might really be wanting to go to the gym. It might be legit. Okay, but instead, a bad friend would do what a bad friend would do in a way is, girl, that's a red flag. I remember when my former man did that, and then I'm telling you, when they start doing that and they change up the pattern, they for sure is cheating on you, girl, and this and that. Trust me, this happens. And if you're a woman out there and somebody told you some stuff like that and you didn't take it upon yourself to find out the truth, and you just took your friend's word for it and took action based on what she said, you were being foolish. Don't ever do that with anybody in this world. I don't care who it is. Now, people can point out some things that you can pay attention to. Sometimes people can point out things that are the truth in your situation, but always find the truth after the fact, right? Don't just take what they said, especially if it's speculation or an opinion, and just believe it. That's all we're saying. So that's one thing a bad girlfriend can do. Another bad thing, and we've heard of this, and a little too often, as we know, women outnumber men in the population, right? Especially in the African-American communities, right? The African-American women, they far outnumber the available men, especially. Now, I'm not saying there's no good men available. That's a whole different argument. There are good men available. What I'm saying is the numbers are just not there. If every available man, black men especially, marry every single available black woman, it's going to be a lot of women left over. That's just it's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the numbers bear it out. So sometimes, especially if your friend has not had a man in a while and they want a man and they want a real man, and they know that your man is a real man, and they might feel like you don't even deserve them. They're calling themselves your friend, by the way. They might find a way to tell you to leave them, or might encourage you leaving them, and then they'll be sleeping with them behind your back, or maybe doing that while you're together. You don't know. Sometimes girlfriends do that. Guy friends will do that too. I'm not letting them off the hook, but we know, we've heard too many stories, and by the sheer fact that the numbers are the way they are, tells you that can happen more likely, right? So that's been today's episode. We talked about how your friends ruin the relationship. Let's keep people out of our relationships, people. Me, you, our connection. If somebody brings something, some valuable information that can improve our situation, so be it. But let's keep people on the outside, keep it between you and the person that you're connected with. Make sure you're connected on a real level. Make sure you communicate with each other, and make sure you are honest with each other. And that way we can build more healthy relationships and bonds out here, right? And once we do that, and once we get to that level where there's a lot more healthy bonds and healthy relationships, the world just improves. Just improves. So this has been your man, Brother T. Thanks for sticking around, and I will catch you on the next episode, family. I'm out of here. Peace.